Today we pause for a moment in Black history. Arianna Valerie Mitchell presenting Mrs. Coretta Scott King.
In her younger years, Mrs. Coretta Scott King was well known for her singing and violin playing, as well as her civil rights activism. She attended Lincoln High School, graduating as the school's valedictorian in 1945, and then enrolled at Antioch College in Yellow Springs, Ohio, receiving her Bachelor of Arts in Music and Education in 1951. The young soprano won a fellowship to the New England Conservatory of Music in Boston, Massachusetts. She met soon-to-be famed civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. while he was a doctorate candidate at Boston University's School of Theology. They married on June 18, 1953. After earning her voice and violin degree from the New England Conservatory of Music in 1954, Mrs. King moved in with her husband to Montgomery, Alabama, where he served as pastor of Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. She oversaw various tasks of a pastor's wife. Working side by side with her husband throughout the 1950s and 60s, Mrs. King took part in the Montgomery bus boycott of 1955, journeyed to Ghana to mark the nation's independence in 1957, traveled to India on pilgrimage in 1959, and worked to pass the 1964 Civil Rights Act, among other endeavors. Among many roles, she worked as a public mediator and as a liaison to peace and justice organizations. In the aftermath of her husband's assassinations, Mrs. King founded the Martin Luther King Jr. Center for Nonviolent Social Change. Mrs. King remained active through her demonstrations against apartheid in South Africa and by expressing her views as a syndicated columnist and contributor to CNN. She also saw the 15-year fight for formal recognition of her husband's birthday come to fruition in 1983 when President Ronald Reagan signed a bill establishing Martin Luther King Day as a federal holiday. Mrs. King died at the age of 78 years old. Her televised funeral service had over 14,000 people in attendance, including U.S. Presidents George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, Jimmy Carter, and Bill Clinton, along with most of their wives. Barack Obama, then a senator, was also present. An African-American heroine, Mrs. Coretta Scott King. What an incredible moment in Black history. I am Arianna Valerie Mitchell, an 8th grade honor roll student at Whitewater Middle School.